Welcome everyone to another Wednesday night, the fundamentals to gain inner peace with your host, Coach Menachem Bernfeld. And here we are. Hopefully you have that safe space, something, somewhere to sit, wherever you are. And this half hour could be a safe space where we can stop and just be for a few minutes, just for a little bit. If you can do it during the week, it's great. But for those who can't, at least it's something. Okay, self-compassion. Some breathing and meditation. We're going to breathe and meditate a little bit on the idea of self-compassion. But before we go, just talk a little bit about self-compassion. We've talked a lot about self-compassion, compassion in general, any relationship, in any relationship with humans, we need compassion because there's no one that's perfect. And most important is self-compassion. If you can have self-compassion, if you understand it for yourself, then we can be there for others, be compassionate with others. However, if you can't do it to yourself, sometimes it's hard. Now, some people would think it's the opposite. It's easier to be compassionate to others than to yourself. When it comes to yourself, you're critical. When it comes to your self-talk, it's negative and you're just not kind to yourself. But on the outside, when you're talking to a friend, you always, sounds so beautiful, sounds amazing, you're always there for them. So yeah, it could look like it's easier to have compassion for others. But I would say it's not real compassion. When it does get to a situation where, you have to get along, you can't just hang up the phone. You have to be there to really be able to sit with somebody else and be compassionate with others. You really have to know what it is, understand it, and where is it real with yourself? And that's where it's real. Those voices. And when you're in a place where you feel you just messed up, it's just not working out, all the negative thoughts come up for yourself. And that's where you have to do it. That's where it's real. So yeah, for any relationship, others, and for yourself, to really understand what's compassion. So talking about what we discussed last week, creating that safe space, finding a space where you can sit and stop, take a deep breath, and just be. So we know what comes up. There's a reason why we're running. There's a reason why we're escaping, why we want to be in that rat race, being busy all day. Because when we stop, things come up. Things come up, different thoughts. And if you've tried it, different things come up, and you can journal. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you like what you see, sometimes you don't. So it's important when we're discussing to create that space where you help yourself just be and stop, to practice compassion, self-compassion. And we'll discuss a little bit of what's needed, because sometimes you can see things that are hard, things that you don't want to see about yourself. After a few minutes, you're like, okay, let me get out of here. I'm here ready for 2 minutes. So why am I staying here? Take a deep breath. Just stay there. I'm too busy. I have to go. And you start feeling uncomfortable. Sometimes it's a feeling, sometimes it's a thought. And just being there to say you're okay. It's okay. What are you feeling? Where are you feeling it? Just be there and continue breathing. Spend some more time. And again, if it's real trauma, don't do it yourself. it's hard. Things come up and you need the help. But if it's you're discussing something that you want to be there for yourself, you've either you've done the work or you believe there are no major traumas, just spending some time with yourself, being with yourself, and taking a deep breath. And that's where these things are going to come up. What's going to be hard? Well, hard is relative. Everybody has their own story. So to be able to have that compassion when things come up, when that thing inside of you pushes you, okay, I'm done. I have to continue. There's so many things I have to do. I can't stop. If you feel that after 2 minutes, I invite you to stay there for another 2 minutes just to see what it feels like. And really, you have to get through those few minutes, that threshold of where it's hard, and then you'll learn how to be there. Be there for yourself, no matter what comes up, so that you can just relax, take a deep breath, and just be, so you don't have to run. So that's the continuation of creating your safe space. So before we continue of talking about self-compassion a little bit, let's get grounded. Let's be here. Become aware. Where am I? And sometimes it's easier to do it together. Come here Wednesday nights, take a deep breath, and you ask yourself, where am I? What am I feeling? Sometimes it's hard to do it on your own. But eventually, I would love if you can do it on your own, find some time, and find time in your day we can get grounded. Close the door, close the phone, take a deep breath. Now let's take a few minutes or a minute. So let's do that. Take a deep breath, put both of your feet on the floor, and try to relax. See what you feel, what comes up, what your body feels. You might be in a place where you don't want to relax. Become aware of that. Become aware of where you are, what comes up, what feelings. Another deep breath in and out. Beautiful. You're doing great. Keep on going. A few more times in and out. And just become aware of what your face feels like, your hands, your shoulders, your stomach. If you're not doing it and you're just looking at me, then just be aware of that. And if you are doing it, take a deep breath, just continue. If the first time you're here, it might look funny. What in the world are we doing? Be aware of that, be aware of your thoughts. Another deep breath in and let all the tension out. Amazing. You're doing great. And you deserve it. Do it more often. Just stopping and becoming aware. Okay, so here we are, here in the now. Let's discuss a little bit compassion. So, compassion is to be supportive, to be caring, no matter what's going on, whether you're facing challenges, facing some mistakes, shortcomings, and recognizing that we're human. Just, it's okay. We're not perfect. And it boils down to self-worth, unconditional. It's not conditioned on what what your day looks like, if you're productive or not, if you get your list done or not, if things are working out the way you want. You're okay. It's okay. Yes, things don't always work out. It's not always perfect. You're trying. It's good. It's fine. And you have those thoughts coming up. Really? I've been trying for the past 10 years. You're going to convince me now that I'm okay? Just be aware of the thoughts. People are sitting with that for years of just knocking themselves, being hard on themselves because it's not perfect. But no one is, and it's okay. So could you have that compassion? So, like we mentioned many times, if someone calls you and says, "Do you have a minute? Could I share?" And they open up and they say, "I'm struggling. There's so much going on. I want to do this. I want to do that. I try this, try that." What would you answer? What would you tell them? And for many, it's easier to say it to others. Now, can you say it to yourself when you stop, when you take a deep breath, when you slow down, and you're faced with yourself when things come up that you don't like? What's that self-talk? How do you talk to yourself? So that's basic, to have some compassion, a little bit of compassion for others, for yourself, and you're aware of where you need it when you're in those places that's hard. So, like we mentioned many times, we're all on a journey. We all have ups and downs. We all have good days and not so good. And that's part of it. It's okay. And I'll share, I sit with many people, whether it's one-on-one, emails, things come up. And you can hear many times when they're not in a good place, they just can't get out. Just can't get out. Can't believe that anything will change. And they have their story, the way they look at themselves, the self-talk, and they can see their story for years already. And they feel this is it. There's nothing they can do about it. And just think about it. What does your day look like when you're in a down, when things don't work, when you're not in the mood, a rainy day? What does it look like? Okay, and myself, before I started on my journey, I would say I didn't have any ups and downs. It looked like everything was good, everything was perfect. But the truth is, it was a coping mechanism. You don't want to feel those downs. You don't want to be aware of it. It doesn't feel good. So it's a decision we make subconscious that I'm just not going to feel. I know what I have to do. I know my routine. I get up, I do it, go to sleep, another day, another week, another month. But there's no real joy. There's no real excitement. Those ups are missing. And it's a conscious decision because you don't want to feel the downs. Now, again, everybody on their own journey, when they start the journey and start realizing, wait a second, where am I? What are my goals? What do I want? Why am I doing this? Is it because other people told me to? Is it something that I want myself? And that's where we start our journey. Everybody in their own story. Start your journey and you start realizing, yeah, there are things you don't want to be aware of, but those are the ups and downs. You don't want to be aware of the downs. You're not going to be aware of the ups. Once you start exercising, feeling those emotions, those excitements, certain things in your day, then automatically when things don't work, it's not going to feel that good. Very simple. Sounds simple, huh? But for beginners, it's not. For beginners, it's not so simple to understand what are those ups and downs. What am I looking for? If my life is good, why should I even look for those things? But again, don't look for the downs. You're looking for the ups. But there are only ups if there are downs. There can't be a mountain without a valley. There's only, if you feel those ups and you're excited, and there's a lot of things going on in your day, you're looking forward, you have goals, you're going out of your comfort zone. So you're going to feel that nervousness. And then when it doesn't work the first time, you will feel at the end of the day a little bit, maybe I shouldn't do this again. But to realize, no, wait a second. It's supposed to work the first time you try something, maybe the third, maybe the fifth, keep on going. So that's being in touch, part of life. But what happens when you're in a down, when things don't work the way you want? Okay, so just stop for a moment and just be aware of what it looks like. And it's a crucial place to stop because there are people that feel that there is no light at the end of the tunnel. And it really takes you to a deep place. When you're in a down, you feel it's not working out. It's not for me. I tried so many times. And again, these are thoughts that you have. And when you stop and you're aware of them, you feel down. It doesn't feel good. And you can't even get to that place we're discussing now. Just be nice to yourself. Give yourself that encouragement. Sometimes you can't. You don't see it. So hopefully you're in a good place now, listening to me. And what I'm telling you is that even if you're in that place where you feel things are not changing, you don't like what comes up, you don't like the things you see, and you don't believe there's anything that can change, it's still okay. Now, what okay doesn't mean it's fine, it doesn't hurt. I understand it hurts. But tomorrow is another day. Things will change. Things do change. But when you're in that down, it's hard. So just be aware of that. It's very important. Just be aware of that. Take a deep breath, and it's okay. And it's something that it's hard to explain. Everybody is on their own journey. You have your own story, you have your own ups and downs, but you become aware. You go to those places where you've been, or if you know those times that you feel you just don't feel good. It's just not working. That's where we need some compassion, that feeling of let me make myself a warm tea. Let me do what I need to do. We'll see soon some self-care because it's okay. We all have ups and downs. Okay. And if you can tell that to a friend, it's time to tell to yourself. So that's a little bit of compassion. Now the question is, what are good ideas? So we'll mention before we go to the breathing, some breathing and meditation. Just some ideas. First of all, is what we discussed many times, just to be mindful. Be mindful of those ups and downs. Be mindful when you're in a down. Those thoughts that come up, you can write them down. All the negative thoughts that come up, just write them down. Be aware of what's making you feel that way. And don't judge. Just be kind. Keep on breathing. Don't tell yourself, you see, maybe this and that. Just be there. Don't change anything. Just be kind to yourself. And that's where the self-talk comes in. What are those voices in your head? Is it supporting you or it's just knocking you? When you're in a place of struggle and you feel like a failure, that's when it's most needed. Self-validation, we discussed many times, just to validate, just listen. Just listen. Not trying to fix it, just see what you feel, see what comes up. Those emotions, those thoughts. And then to understand that you're not the only one. Sometimes we sit at home and we find ourselves in a place where we think, everybody out there is successful. Everybody out there is doing great. They're all doing what they need to do. And I'm here, just can't get out of it. I just can't get myself out of this. I'm here ready for 2 hours and it's not working. You're not the only one. If you're human, humans have these ups and downs. So just be aware. It's an important piece to be aware of. You're not the only one. Sometimes you speak to others, you can hear it. Others have it. No, some people open up, some don't. If you have that relationship with the other person, but you're not the only one. And then self-forgiveness, very important. Yes, you messed up. We all do. Could you forgive yourself? And it's a hard one. Some people can't. And be aware of that. I just can't. There are certain things that I did, I can't forgive myself. Be aware of it. Write it down. At least know what it is. And hopefully one day, slowly, so you can be there for yourself, understand we all make mistakes. And then the most important is that self-care. Again, if you've been here, I would ask you, what is that thing? That's one that one, two things that you do to make you feel good, to take care of yourself. Again, it doesn't have to be something big, something small that just shows that you're there for yourself, you're listening. So I can't tell you what to do. There are many things that you can do, but I want you to know what are those small things that you do that work for you when you're in a place where it's a little bit hard, challenged, struggling. What do you do? And you should have answered to that. Something to soothe yourself while you're not in a good place. So those are just a few ideas. So let's do a few minutes of some breathing and meditation. Okay, because the idea of self-compassion, what we discussed till now, is amazing, but it's all logic. And you all agree that it's important. But we have to slow down and start practicing. And that's where this breathing and meditation helps, slowing down, letting it in, letting these ideas in. So before we start, let's set an intention. Okay? Think of an area in your life where it needs a little bit of compassion. Could be something big, could be something small. And just take a deep breath and think how you can be more compassionate in that area while you're on the journey, while things are not the way you want it to be. And now that you have that your intention where you want to feel it, let's take a deep breath and start a short meditation. And begin by finding a comfortable seated position. Be on a chair, wherever you are. Try to sit as straight as you can, tall, and shoulders relaxed so you don't fall asleep. You can close your eyes if it's comfortable and take a few deep breaths, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth, allowing your body to relax with each breath. Beautiful. Bring your attention to your breath. Noticing the natural rhythm, inhales and exhales. You don't have to change anything, just be aware. With each inhale, silently repeat to yourself, breathing in, I invite compassion. And with each exhale, silently repeat to yourself, breathing out, I release judgment. Breathing in, I invite compassion. Breathing out, I release judgment. In and out, keep on going. Continue this practice for several breaths, allowing each inhale to fill you with a sense of warmth and kindness. And each exhale to let go of any self-criticism or negativity. Breathing in, I invite compassion. Breathing out, I release judgment. And as you continue to breathe, visualize a soft, glowing light surrounding your heart center, expanding with each breath to encompass your entire body. A warm light. With each inhale, feel this light infusing you with compassion and understanding for yourself. Just feel it. And with each exhale, feel any tension or resistance melting away. leaving you feeling lighter and more at peace. Breathing in, I invite compassion. Breathing out, I release judgment. Whenever your mind wanders, gently bring your focus back to your breath and back to the intention of self-compassion. You deserve it. Just feel it. You're doing great. A few more deep breaths. Just be aware of what you feel. Breathing in, I invite compassion. Breathing out, I release judgment. Another deep breath in, just feeling gratitude for this moment of self-care and connection, for some self-compassion. Take it all the way in and just feel that white light. And when you're ready, if you're listening to the recording, you can pause and just stay there. Continue breathing as long as you need it. And for now, you can slowly open your eyes, coming back into the room, back into the present moments. And you can carry this feeling, the sense of self-compassion with you, no matter where you go. That feeling, take along. You can do it again and become aware of what you're looking for, what comes up. Sometimes there's resistance. But if you feel calm, feel a little bit of self-compassion, even if it's 1%, even if it's just a little bit, take it with you. Take it along with you. So like I always say, it's amazing to see what 3 minutes can do to a person. Just stopping and breathing, sometimes guided meditation, just takes you to a different place, more relaxed, feeling better. So you deserve it and do it for yourself. Thank you so much. That's it for tonight. You can continue on your own, and please do. But for now, just be aware of how you feel. Going back to your regular day. Any questions, you can always send coachmenachem@gmail.com. The recordings are available at menachembernfeld.com. Next week, Emet Hashem, we'll do Tuesday nights. And for those who want to get the emails, updates, send me an email, coachmenachem@gmail.com. So we'll add you to the list so that you can get the updates to know when is the next class. Usually it's Wednesday night, but next week's going to be Tuesday night. Thank you so much. Thank yourself for taking some time off, for being here for yourself. I'll see you next week, Wednesday nights. Have a good night and a good week.